Hey, I don't give a fuck who a nigga think they gonna go around me, snake anything, break anything. Hey, this shit I stand on, bitch.
Youngboy and 3 came straight out the trenches of Baton Rouge. Two brothers who flipped hunger and the hustle and built an empire from the dirt. Youngboy never broke again, and OG3 weren't just dreaming of fame. They were constructing it, brick by brick, one track at a time. They ain't in the hood no more though. Youngboy's chilling in Utah, while 3's moving with precision, thinking like a businessman shaped by the grind. The block raised them, but the music refined them. They sharpened each other's edges, crafting something solid together. People started realizing that 3 was never just a brother in the background. He was the engine behind the movement, the one who made sure the machine kept running strong. And he ain't even chased the spotlight. He aimed it right at Youngboy, making sure the brand stayed shining. Never Broke Again wasn't just a name, it was a lifestyle, a code written in loyalty, hustle, and blood. By the time the industry caught on, they had already flipped the game. Going independent became the new power move, and they were the example everyone studied. Then came Birdman, the diamond drip boss from New Orleans, a mogul who's been stacking legacy since the UNLV and Lil Slim era.
How did you become a part of NBA?
I mean, I started NBA, you know, like, then like Youngboy just was really like the main one who was rapping. Like I don't really take rapping serious, cause like Youngboy really made me rap. Like I ain't never want to rap. I just did it cause he was like, man, you know, you might as well. I'm doing it. But you know, he started off, and you know, he like took it to the next level. Like he ran with it. He did what he was supposed to do. And you know, we just made ourselves into a brand.
A true icon, no question about it. He built empires, birthed legends, and stacked checks taller than the hotel skyline on Canal Street. But Birdman's name been balancing between genius and greed for years. He's the type to hand you an opportunity and forget the payout. You sign with him, better have a calculator, a contract lawyer, and nerves of steel. That's the kind of link he had with Youngboy. Fresh talent diving into deep waters without realizing how cold the game could get. Call it straight up Louisiana royalty. The new king linking up with the old general. Cameras flashing, smiles locked in. The caption read, family, and every blog screamed, history in the making. But that boy 3, he stood a few steps back, reading the vibe like he'd seen this movie before. Behind all that mentorship talk, he could sense the quiet control tucked inside the handshake. Birdman ain't the type to guide someone for free. Every hug comes with a hidden agenda. When they dropped that collab out the bayou in 2021,
you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, where we come from. And it's like the mentality that they see us, when they see us, is like, hold on, let me back, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, we give like that back out standoffish vibe.
It looked like pure gold. Birdman was talking his smooth talk, Youngboy was spitting that fire, and 3 was guarding the brand like a shadow warrior. On the surface, it looked peaceful, but deep down, it smelled like contracts and control. Birdman got a pattern. He'll make you feel like you're the chosen one, then slide paperwork across the table that says otherwise. He's been running that same game since the early 2000s, telling every young rapper they're the next Lil Wayne, like it's some royal blessing. But by the time he whispered that line to Youngboy, the trick was old and dusty. 3 caught on fast. He's a thinker, not one to react off emotion. He watched Birdman play the same old game.
I think now they gonna really understand how I'm coming. Like,
flatter the artist, claim the movement, and walk away holding all the credit. It's divide and conquer, just dressed up in diamonds and Cartier frames. Birdman tried to wedge himself between Youngboy and 3, stirring tension while smiling for loyalty. But 3 and Yabi, they weren't begging for a seat at nobody's table. They were already building their own. By 2022, them boys had the whole kitchen on lock. Never Broke Again was cooking non-stop, bigger, stronger, fully independent, with no middlemen and no mercy. Birdman started tossing around the word family even heavier, like saying it out loud could make it real. But the more NBA grew, the more his grip started slipping.
So anything y'all thinking, bitch, think 3 times, bitch, cause you're gonna be missing your fucking head, nigga.
And that's when the energy began to twist. Suddenly, all those Instagram captions and photo ops started looking staged, like publicity plays instead of real brotherhood. 3 felt it deep in his gut. He needed to speak. Real recognized real, and he could smell the fake a mile away. He's seen that story before. The mentor turning into the middleman, the love getting flipped into leverage. It was deja vu from the Lil Wayne days, the same cycle replaying with new faces. So when 2024 hit and YoungBoy dropped Tears of War, the whole industry froze. Then came that line, "Dude, that studio never loved me. Should've listened to Carter 1. One bar, one message, no confusion."
This music, business, other streets, ain't nothing going on without me.
That wasn't just a diss, it was a direct strike straight through Birdman's reputation. The internet went wild, bloggers breaking it down word for word, fans replaying it like it was courtroom evidence. In 3, he stayed silent, letting the music speak. That quiet hit, louder than any interview. His silence felt like a cosign to the truth. Then out of nowhere, OG3 started dropping cryptic posts online, little digital grenades. He wrote, "How you call someone nephew but act like they your landlord?" Some folks called it mentorship, but the real ones knew. He was throwing shade dressed up as wisdom. Every post felt like another warning shot, and the world was finally catching on to what had been brewing behind the smiles. I call it management with a memo. No names, no tags, just straight facts wrapped in captions. Every post sounded like a quiet jab at Birdman without ever saying his name. And what did Birdman do? Stayed silent, just like he always does. That's his signature move. Vanish from the noise, let the storm burn itself out while he watches from a distance. But this time, that silence didn't protect him, it exposed him. Fans weren't confused anymore. They'd seen this movie before with Wayne, and half the Cash Money roster could quote the script by heart. Birdman kept quiet because he knew anything he said would sound like guilt. Meanwhile, 3 wasn't out here losing control, he was surgical with it, moving with purpose. He wasn't chasing drama, he was drawing lines, setting boundaries, and doing it with precision. That's what made it hit harder. His tone wasn't angry, it was firm, calm, and powerful. True slices deeper than any diss, and the more he spoke, the louder people started listening. Even execs were tuning in, realizing this wasn't about hate, it was about a cycle repeating itself right in front of everyone's eyes. Birdman been running the same playbook for decades. Build a bridge, call it mentorship, then flip it when it benefits him. He'll hug you at breakfast and have you signing a bad contract before lunch. If he thinks you owe him, he'll call you nonstop. But if he owes you, he'll say it's an investment in the culture. He's the only man who can turn family into a business model and sleep easy after. Then 3 started dropping even more posts, sharp, bold, and direct. "You can't own loyalty, and you can't invest in respect," he wrote. They called it the game, but 3 called it what it really was, gaslighting. Meanwhile, Birdman was probably scrolling his phone, counting comments instead of counting the karma that was already circling back his way. Then the memes took over, because the internet never misses. One had Birdman photoshopped with stacks of Monopoly money, another with him holding fake checks like props. Even hip-hop pages started clowning. But 3 didn't feed into the chaos. He just let it all burn. The more people laughed, the clearer the truth became. Humor turned into the people's weapon, and the jokes cut deeper than any diss track. Birdman might have built empires, but 3, he and YoungBoy built Never Broke Again into a movement by 2025. The tension wasn't hiding anymore. It was right out in the open for everyone to see. 3 moved like a man protecting his name and his brand. He wasn't dissing, he was dropping truth, talking independence, ownership, and real principles. It was the sound of a new generation that refuses to stay silent. Birdman came from a time when Cash Money artists were scared to speak, trapped by contracts and loyalty that only went one way. But this era is different. These artists own their platforms, their masters, and their voices. They don't need permission to tell their side. Birdman tried to play it smooth, showing up at events acting like everything was all love. But love without payment feels like an empty envelope. That's the real difference right there. The gap between old money and earned money. Birdman was living off a legacy built through decades of control, while 3 and YB built theirs from the dirt up. No shortcuts, no handouts. You can't divide a foundation that's already self-owned, and you can't break a man who learned every move by studying the ones who tried to play him. When 3 went live, it wasn't out of rage, it was revelation. He spoke his truth straight and clear. Don't act like an OG if your guidance comes with hidden agendas. That wasn't anger, it was wisdom, disguised as fire. Fans went crazy, clipping every second and flooding the blogs. His words spread like wildfire, echoing across the game. Meanwhile, Birdman stayed ghost, silent, just like before. But this time, that silence sounded louder than any denial. This wasn't disrespect. It was accountability, pure and simple. Even other rappers started liking and reposting Three's clips, saying things they never would have dared to touch before. You could feel it. The tide was shifting. The OGs were getting called out in real time. And that right there was evolution in motion. Birdman tried to keep his poker face, but behind that cool look, you could see the panic in his eyes. He'd been running the industry chessboard for decades, but now the pawns had learned to move like queens. The control game don't work when the new generation already own the empire. This whole situation ain't turned violent, and that's what makes it even more powerful. This war right here is psychological, generational, a battle between old school control and new school clarity. Birdman's thinking in contracts, while the new generation's thinking in copyrights. One man's trying to own people, while the other one's teaching the young ones how to own themselves. And the crowd's locked in, watching it all unfold like it's the biggest movie of the decade. Every post, every clip, the coach was paying attention, watching the old guard get schooled by the very rules they wrote decades ago. The torch has officially been passed, whether Birdman likes it or not. The new era don't need the gatekeepers anymore, especially not YB. And that's the beauty in it, balance. This ain't about tearing down the OGs, it's about demanding real respect from them. Birdman paved the way, no doubt, but Three laced up the steel-toe boots and walked that road harder than ever. That's real game right there. Raw, grounded, and unapologetic. What's happening now ain't fiction. It's the real business of respect being rewritten in public view. And Birdman, he's still out here, still rich, still talking slick, still watching the new school flip the blueprint he built. Only difference now, these artists are building wealth without owing anyone their freedom. The tables are turned, and for once, the players at the bottom of the board are the ones calling checkmate. In the end, that boy Three made his stance clear. This wasn't small talk. This was a full declaration of independence. Birdman tried to make his move, letting it be known that things were getting serious. But the real message wasn't about threats. It was about power and respect. That moment hit hard across the culture, because everyone knew this wasn't just drama. It was the new generation breaking free from the old playbook. People said this story was about beef, and they right in the way. But it's deeper than that. Them boys just ain't rocking with that divide and conquer mindset anymore. Birdman thought he was still running the game, but Three stood firm, all business and focus. He wasn't here for chaos. He was setting standards and rewriting the rules. The message was simple, but sharp. If you call it family, pay it like it's business. If you call it business, treat it like it's family. That's how you stay solid in this industry. Keep it real, stay loyal, and protect your work. The old game is done. The new generation learned how to move smarter, not harder. Three let it be known. No sneaky moves, no fake loyalty, and no snakes in the circle. Real ones only. If you're feeling how this story unfolded, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more real stories like this. Let's keep this conversation going. Who you think really changed the game for the new era?